Welcome to our second masterclass on the Access to Value Chain Challenge of Connect Americas for Women. Today we have two very special guests that our moderator, which you already know, Tove, will present. But before I give the floor to Tove, I just wanted to welcome you and give you little tips, logistical tips for the session today. So remember that by the end of the session, we will be answering some questions that you might have. So you can write them on the Q&A box that you have in the bar under your Zoom. Or you can just leave them in the chat. I'll be collecting them, and at the end, we'll take some time to answer any of them. Also, well, thank you very much for joining. Remember that this is part of a series of webinars or a series of masterclasses linked to this challenge. Some of you might already know this information, but just as a quick information for you, we have 3 phases in this challenge. The first one is the one that we're having right now, is the capacity building phase. We are completing the information that you can find in the supplier development program that is already available in the Connect Americas Academy. You can access the course, register, and complete the course anytime you want. If you have already done so, congratulations. If not, we're going to share the link briefly through the chat. And then in August, we'll start the second phase, that is the technical assistance. So if you're interested in applying to the technical assistance, you must complete the supplier development program that I just mentioned. It's not mandatory for you to join these sessions, but it is very useful information for you. And this will be recorded and published in our platform and also shared with you through email. So with this information, I will just give the floor to Tove. Welcome to this session. Any question you have, just remember to leave it in the chat or the Q&A box.
Thank you very much, Daniela, and a very warm welcome to all of you also from me. Some of you perhaps welcome back. Maybe we already met in the first masterclass a couple of weeks ago. Very much looking forward to this session, as indeed, as Daniela said, we have 2 very interesting speakers in our panel today who will be providing their insights from their practical experience. So my name is Tove. I am calling in right now from the Netherlands. I work as a consultant in sustainability and supply chains. And if you're interested in my initiative, I call it Straight Circles. You're welcome to have a look. But enough about me. And also before I introduce our panelists, we are again very much interested in learning who is among us in this audience today. So please, if you could scan the QR code or go to menti.com. If you do go to menti.com, you will need the code that you see here. I can also share the link in the chat. The question you will get there is in which sector you're active, and hold on for the second question a little bit, because we also want to know what your association is with the theme for today, requirements. So I'll leave this up for a moment so that you will all get started. And then I will share the screen in Menti to see what's happening there. I hope you've all had a chance to scan the QR code. Let's see now what's happening in Menti. So the first question, in which sector are you active? If you all use the QR code or go to menti.com and use the code 54191575, we should see what's happening on the screen. And I see we have at least one participant who made her way, and two, so now it's popping in. And just like in the first masterclass, we do have a very varied group here, as can of course be thought with so many of you out there doing different things. I'm keeping this one open, but I also want to give you the chance to look at the next question. What is the first thing you think of when you hear requirements? This question is now also open. And if you've answered the first one, please just type in what comes to mind when you think of requirements. We'll see if we can get this going, but even so, when we continue the next discussion, this will be kept open. So you can always contribute. It's always brilliant for us to know what's going on in the audience. Okay. I will stop sharing this, but I'll leave it open and we will show it later on. This is what happens when you do submit them. We're building a beautiful, colorful word cloud here. And this, of course, is also input for our panelists now. Specifications coming up strong. Please do continue filling out the Mentimeter. Like I said, it's always nice for us to know what's on your minds. In the meantime, I do want to return to the original. Sorry about that. Original presentation, because this is where I finally get to introduce today's panelists, which you already saw a little bit. So we have Maria Camila Suarez, who is the co-founder at Sagu Chocolate with us today, and who will be sharing from her experience and point of view as a supplier. And we have Danitza Sanchez, Business Development Director at Dole, large company, as you know, and she is the one going out there creating business opportunities and relationships. And what better way for me to introduce the two inspiring women we have with us today than to hand over to you directly. So please, Danitza, if you would like to go first, introduce yourself in a few words and your company, of course.
Sure. Thank you, Toby, for this introduction. Good afternoon or good morning or good evening with the audience, depending on where location are you. Well, my name is Danitza Sanchez. I work in the food industry around 15 years ago, and I've been working especially on the produce sector. That's my specialty. And indeed, in different ways, creating businesses also in the supply chain, but also in the quality assurance sector, and also commercially wise. So I have experience in different floors during this produce business. And of course, my background is food science as a profession, and I done some courses, some MBAs here in Europe. But I'm really glad to have this conversation with you guys, and I hope it will be worthwhile for you.
Thank you. And it's also calling in from Europe. So we have 2 Europeans at least in the audience. So please, if you would like to share more about your company, now is also the time.
Thank you. Thank you for the slides. Yeah. Yes. So I work for a Dole company. As you maybe some of you doesn't know, Dole come right now due to a merge from Total Produce to Dole. And it became a huge company. It's the biggest company in the produce currently in the world, and it's heading more than 6 billion of sales. And the main products we are currently working, it's in banana and pineapple, but we go beyond that because we are also one of the biggest suppliers of melons, as well as grapes, stone fruit, and just recently we are incorporating avocados and berries as well. But those are the main products we are doing. But be aware that we are doing more than 200 items in our scope. We are located in different countries, more than 30 countries around the globe, including Latin America, US, Canada, South Africa, and Europe. We haven't really we were before in the Asian market. So some of you may have heard Dole in Asia, and we have that, but we have sold that business. So now we only are focused on mainly on the European, Latin America, Africa, and the US and Canada market, as well as procurement as well. Yeah, so those are our main remarks. I am currently working in the European branch in Dole, and we are here in Europe. We are the second company most important in bananas, and we are mainly working very actively on the products that I just mentioned to you. On top of that, we are also the biggest company on vegetables. That's something that is sometimes not well known, but we are currently working very high on vegetables. By that I mean carrots, all the vegetables that you can imagine. So these are the main products we are doing. We focus from source to the consumer. We are not necessarily doing everything by growing ourselves. Some of the products we are doing half, but we are fully connected to the source. So I'm going to explain you later on, maybe if it's to give you some examples, but we try to take care from source. We care from source to the end until the consumer. And why? Also because we also have a brand, which is not very well common to see a brand within these produce products, and we do have a brand, Dole brand. Although we are also supplying to different supermarkets without the brand. That's also important to say. If you can go to the next slide, please, Toby. Well, Dole, to make it very short here, Dole has 2 different divisions. One is the Dole fresh fruit, which is the banana and the pineapple, and the other division is called Dole Diversified. Within Dole Diversified, we have both EMEA, which is Europe, Middle East and Africa as well, and then you have America and the rest of the countries, the rest of the world. And the next slide, please. This is our supply chain, and I wanted to show you this to all the audience because this is how we take care of the whole journey of the product. So we start from developing a new product, and even if it's not new, we count as a new because it's going to be the first time we are going to introduce in the market. So it goes from the first point to start the development of the product, then we go to the procurement to start procuring the product, to look at the sources, to look at the materials, how to get that product. We provide agronomic support in most of the cases when it's needed. When it's not needed, we don't do it. So we do the quality assurance assistance, we import the product, then we storage the product. We do have around the globe different capabilities on having a storage, but also repacking facilities. Finally, we do a distribution. But most important, the part that I wanted to remark here is the sustainability, because we do distribution to our customers, but we integrate marketing, one, because we need to market our products, even if it's not in a Dole brand. But the other one now became more and more relevant, which is the sustainability. That's also a key element from our whole supply chain. So the sustainability became more and more part of our to-do list in order to fulfill our whole supply chain. And we have different goals on sustainable developments, as you can see also here. So this is just a brief introduction about our company, and I'm going to be here up for the questions you may have.
Thank you so much. Thank for this introduction, and already covering topics I know our audience is eager to hear about, because sustainability has been specifically mentioned also by the participants as something they are interested in. Let me now hand over to Maria Camila Suarez to present herself and her company. And we will do so by me also sharing a video without a sound for you to just watch while you speak, Maria. So I will hand over to you, please.
So hello, everybody. I'm Maria Camila Suarez. I'm part of Sagu Chocolate. We are a company that it's founded by my brother and I. We decided to make not only chocolate, but to transform the lives of the people that grow cocoa in Colombia. We actually buy cacao from more than 12 regions in Colombia. We do the whole process from the bean to the bar to drudges to covertures to different products that we develop for different chains, supermarkets and restaurants. We create healthy chocolates free of chemicals and artificial flavors as well. We bring our clients a personal relationship with the cocoa farmers. We have 100% traceability in the whole process. So our clients also can come with us to the farmers, to the farms in different regions in Colombia. It's a total transparent for us. We have developed different systems to have the information in line for our clients in order to them to know the whole process of the chocolate. And it's really important to us because we believe that behind each cocoa bean there is a long way to a life full of work and good energy. So we want to reflect that in our products, and we want to show the people that buy our products to have this. We have been in the market for almost 7 years, so we are entrepreneurs as well. And we are right now in more than 5 markets around the world. We export to the US, to Canada, to Spain, to Germany, to Czech Republic as well, and to Mexico.
Thank you very much. Thank you both for the introduction and for the lovely pictures that we could enjoy while you were explaining. So we have actually, you complement each other, not only product-wise, but of course we know chocolate and fruit goes very well together. But we also have a supplier side and a large global company side that we can tackle these questions from today. And Anita, I would like to start with you with the first question, actually, because you mainly focus on fresh produce, but you also share the whole chain that you represent and of which you have full control. So if we look at purchasing and suppliers that you look from to make sure everything works, would you only be looking at fresh produce suppliers or suppliers from different areas?
No, I think no, definitely not. I think one of the key elements for sure it's our fresh produce suppliers, which are the essence of our company, but it's not or at all. So we have also within the chain, we need to also look on the packaging. The packaging is a big element as well, which are where suppliers needs to comply with a lot of things for food. So
Yeah.
we're talking about cartons, plastic, and now there is a lot more information, as you may have heard, to reduce the plastic in order to become sustainable in the future. So yes, so packaging material is one element. The other element, it would be also needs for the seeds, for example, seeds. So we also need to farm in some of our production. We also need to farm, as for example, in the avocados or on the berries. So we also need to provide plants or seeds in order to plant. So that's also another different element we take a look and consider. And then we also have sometimes we cannot just do our quality check 100% by ourselves. And it doesn't not only apply to Dole. I think it applies to other companies that I've been working on as well. So we can sometimes it's not enough to have to put some resources 100% in that. So you need to hire certain third-party companies who has the knowledge and quality, and you can somehow learn from each other, and they will work for you. By that, I mean that we need to look for suppliers on quality control, where they are exclusively for that, you know?
Yeah.
That's the other type of suppliers we look for. The other type of suppliers also in the change is when we do innovation, we also have technology in place. So we need to have very interesting uh, companies who are on top of certain specifications on quality on technology for repacking, for not only for repacking, but also recently we have work on companies who are specialized or extending the shelf life of the product. So they have technology for that. So there are different other companies or type of industries which are somehow related to our core product.
Exactly. The core product is the key and main driver, but in getting everything to work, especially in these huge supply chains that you're talking about, you also look for other suppliers, which I think is good to bear in mind for everyone listening in, because we have a diverse group, so suppliers can be diverse. Follow-up question to this one though, would you always have a set of minimum requirements that you would ask any supplier to you, or do you really look depending on what kind of, if it's innovation technology, it may look of course different from fresh produce, but is the minimum requirement still the same on what you ask for a company to be registered, I don't know, reliable, or are there differences?
If it's not related to the core product, so if you put aside the core product and we only focus on the other sectors that also it's important for our businesses, it depends on which businesses we are talking about. But in general, I can start with the general basis. We want to have a company in our platform which are having at least certain warranty that they fulfill the quality standards for what they are doing. So it could, if it's technology, it will be for what they are doing. So for example, the ISO or something. But if it's, for example, another packaging material, it will be different, because then they need to have certifications for warranty that the product will be access to the food. So in basics, it will be quality certifications for depending the type of quality certification. It will depend of every sector, but in general, it will be a quality certifications. The other element that we will always see, it's also how reliable is this company, and if they have done some other, who are the other customers they are working. So a bigger company like a bigger company probably most probably will not go for a company who is starting from 100% from zero. And I'm not saying that it has to go first with a bigger company. No, that's not going to happen. But at least to have proof that at least trialing that the products they are working and undergoing in other companies as well. That brings a little bit more reliability on what they want to offer. Another thing, it's also, and sounds maybe very extreme, but one of the things that we also take a look is on the financials. Just to be financial, okay. We are not saying that the company is to be huge or anything like that, but if something wrong happened in the way, we want a company next to us as a supplier that at least to be able to have all the insurance with them, or the basic insurance with them, and that is financially okay to be covered. We had some situations not long ago when we have a supplier on packaging material. There was a great supplier. We made a great innovation with that supplier, and that supplier on packaging, and that supplier was an entrepreneurial supplier. Was great, actually. Everything what we have done was great, but we have realized, because of calls that we got from different other parties, that this supplier was not paying to their service. They were also having third parties who were producing for them, they were using a third-party supplier, which is fine, perfectly fine. But we had the news that they were not paying to those suppliers. So we got a little bit surprised. So we were digging a little bit more information about that situation. And we finally realized that, yes, so there were not one supplier that was not paying. A supplier from them was not one, was two or not three. Three suppliers from them was not paid on time, and they were complaining about that. So those are the details that we have seen, and then we try to, of course, to understand what's going on and to help them to rebuild the whatever the situations it could be, and it could go well if they accept the help or support, or we believe it's worthwhile to keep going that support. And it could go wrong because the situation doesn't really they are not okay on meeting certain requirements for us. So we could have different ways, but what I'm trying to say here is that it's important also what we see in a supplier, that financially it's okay, and he's committing to be responsible financially and non-financially with their own suppliers, because everything is a change. So even if our supplier is great, their supplier also has to be great. It's a chain.
Yes.
So those are the sort of basic probably requirements that we want, and if we want to make it more detailed, it will depend of which sector we're talking about.
Exactly. Thank you very much for explaining it. It's a really quality, reliability, full chain responsibility, financially okay, make sure you have insurance as minimum requirement, because as you say, then the product specifics can still enter. We'll deal with those in a bit, because let's hear from Maria Camila. As a supplier, have you experienced that there are minimum requirements? You supply to a diverse clients, from restaurants to supermarkets, etc., international chains. Is there something that you would say that everyone will always ask as a minimum?
Yes, as Danitza says, everything is a chain. So we have requirements for our suppliers, and as well, when we sell to other companies, we also have, we also are asked to have different requirements, such as organic certifications, quality certifications. In our case, actually, as we are a small company, we have been tested several times for the people of the other companies, of the restaurant chains, international chains. So actually, when we were looking to start to be the supplier of those restaurants, they came to our company, they evaluate the whole process, from our raw materials to the whole process, each step. We did lab analysis. We evaluate technical aspects, sensory aspects as well of the products. We have to have consistency in our products to have always the same quality. This is like a work that never ends, because we are also willing to improve each day. So I think it's important, the communication to have with those big restaurant chains and supermarkets is important. With supermarkets, we have been in different process, from creating like special products, special for different chains. So we work from different necessities and we innovate in the products. So they are also part of the process. We are also implementing different type of certification in our factory, in our plant and processing plant. And we are also looking each day to have like versatility in order to go to different markets. That's our key in order to fulfill and to have better understanding of our clients as well.
And would you then say that different types of clients look for different things, or is it mainly that they all come and check everything, but what they are looking for are mainly the same sort of quality, reliability also?
Yeah, once we have the trust of our clients, it's almost, yeah, almost all of the clients ask for the minimum quality, the minimum standards. But yes, it's a must to have at least like a good standard, quality standard. But yes, some of our clients are more focused on the organic process, to have full traceability of the products and to have like a impact of the farmers. So they want to see that part. And other people want to see the product, the consistency of the product. So yeah, you have to understand the client, understand what they are asking you to have, to understand the laws of different countries in order to fulfill the products that they want. And we have to be like innovative and creative in that part.
Yeah, in constant contact with your clients, I can tell. Thank you very much. And let's move to the next topic, or maybe two topics actually, if we turn to Danica again, because we already mentioned, or you mentioned proof, that you have to prove it, and certification was mentioned. Certification and sustainability, how does Dole deal with that? And is there anything that you can in general say that you see is happening in this field?
It relates a lot when it comes to fruit too. When we need to have a supplier related to fruit itself, sustainability became a really important element. And what by that I mean, if we are getting a supplier from fruits, for example, then we need to make a bigger assessment for them and to see if that sustainability is to have sustainable business in the long term, right? So it will include also the social responsibility that they have for their workers in their farm, in their packing facilities, whatever they have, but the social responsible that they are if they are well paid or pay enough according to the laws, if they have good places where to live, if this is a farmer worker, for example, but also it also go into the environmental impact. So we will, sustainability is a plus for other sector, for other suppliers, but for the food is a must. So when it's connected to the food directly, like a supplier of any other fruit, it's a must. So you really need to comply certain requirements for socials, but for environmental impact as well. The carbon footprint as well, what they are doing that's exactly what we usually take a look. Gender equality for some of the cases, and especially when depending of the sourcing as well. Because if we are if the fruit is supplied to Europe, for example, and the fruit comes from far away sourcing, like Namibia or like Mexico, then we are a little bit more focused on those aspects, especially on people, on social responsibility, than a grower which is based in Europe, in Portugal, or in Spain, for example. It will depend. But for sure it will be checked. For sure it will be checked. Audit in these two main elements, I would say. When it's related to food. When it's not related to fruit directly, as for example, as I said before, technology, that's not a fruit. It's a service that connects to the fruit, but it's not directly a fruit. Then it's a plus. I think any supplier that we may have, a marketing supplier, we also have marketing suppliers, just companies who are doing market research, So nothing to do with so there are different suppliers. When it's not connected directly, it's not a fruit supplier, then the sustainability are a plus. I could say that it's a plus. So if you have that, is very welcome. But it's not really a must in most of the cases. When it's fruit, it's a must.
Yeah, it's a must, and it depends a bit on the sourcing country, perhaps also the supplying country you're supplying to. In Europe, it's a very big deal. In other markets, perhaps less. And is it always certification that you look for? And is there a difference between supplying markets? Because I see your reaction.
Yeah, not necessarily, because when we have a policy I mean, if you are asking me as a Dole, then we have one policy. So it will also be as a policy. We cannot put our brand, even if we sell whatever market, it's a brand related. So we need to comply in certain things, no matter which market we go for. And when it's related to, you asked me another question. I forgot the question.
If it's related to supplying markets, and if it's certification that you're looking for, is that how suppliers prove?
Yeah, well, you definitely the certifications helps. No, it's Meta, BSR certifications helps, and the basics for the environmental certifications helps. However, I think is more common now as well, that besides of the certifications, that's the basics. But besides that usually companies elaborate their own audits as well. That's more common. Supermarkets are more and more having their own reporting, their own way of evaluating, and most of the time, of course, it's really related to a certification. But it's more common now. That's more common, and we also do that. So we, on top of asking for the certifications that I'm addressing, we also make our own audits.
Exactly. So it's becoming more for the producers, basically, but it's becoming more dull. Yes. Okay.
Yes, and the supermarkets are also doing that as well. So I think it's more and more because we could be more precise on certain questions and topics.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, and more is being demanded. Thank you very much for explaining this so clearly. And of course, now I would like to hear from Maria Camila, because you also mentioned organic, you have certification, but you also work on sustainability. So if you could give your point of view on certification and sustainability as a company.
Okay, so for us, it's also a must to have sustainability politics in our company, and also our clients ask for them. So we as a company have to have more commitment. It's like day by day, the commitment that we have to have in order to impact the process. As a company, we and all our products flourish from the socially conscious business model. So that is our basic line. And we have experienced the climate change with the cocoa producers. So this is very important for us. In the last few years, we have experienced a drop in the production of the cacao. So our process have been affected. So we are more aware of the climate change, and we want to mitigate this type of well, it's in the whole world, this the climate change effects. So we are working in mitigate the climate change, in promoting biodiversity, in having regenerative agriculture with our suppliers as well, and to promote this and to have the importance of this product to our clients.
Yes, thank you. And this is indeed it's embedded in your company. Let's say sustainability is not something you add, it's your starting point rather, from how you describe it. Well, actually, I think what we can say is that really sustainability certification is a basis, you said also, and then you look for different ways to look around. And looking at the time, I'm afraid I'm going to go for the last round of questions to the two of you. So if I can start with you again, Danitza, we've heard a lot of different requirements, and it's getting basically stricter. I mean, we need to change as a world, of course, to become more sustainable if we want to still stay on this planet, if you like. But do you have any tips for everyone listening in and for potential suppliers? How can you prepare and be ahead of the game and know what to expect? And how can you show you meet requirements? So Danitza, if you would like to go first, and then Maria Camila, you will get the same question.
Yeah, I think first of all, beyond the sustainability, I think it's very important that every company that wants to supply, they know what's really, really the added value into the other company. To find out what I'm going to add value to you. That's the start for me, the point zero. And then when you find that, when you really know, okay, there is a gap here, by asking questions or by understanding your business very well, that I'm sure everyone does, then you really find, okay, if this is something that I want to go for, then what is really needed, what is exactly needed. And some of the time we need to go for certifications, for quality certifications, as also Maria Camila explained it, I explained it. So quality specification is also my step number one, but also if you want to go an extra mile. So as I said before, first of all, you start understanding what is your added value, but then if you really want to go for an extra mile, is what is something that the other companies are that you can really apply, and the other companies are not really doing it. For example, I had a grower in Portugal that we were trying to work, and we were about to close a business already, because everything looks extremely great, but we have realized by the governmental that the water availability was really a complication in there, and it will be in the coming years. Yeah. So if we really, as a company, if as a supplier, we see that already happening, and instead of just cutting the business at all, we bring that issue, we bring that topic to a global company, and we say, listen, this is going to happen, and this could affect this and that and that. I think that is a lot of information that sometimes global companies or bigger companies are not aware, honestly. So we cannot know everything. So I think as a company, as an entrepreneur, you need to know this extra mile, that is what could affect from the sustainability point of view, or on what is something that could put in dangers the environmental, the people. You could also have a farm that there are no workers anymore. So I just came from 2 weeks. I came from Morocco, and everyone was thinking, oh yeah, there is a lot of people in Morocco for being a workers in the coming years. But the situation is that it's not. So some people, not everyone, but some people realize there will be here in 3 years' time a problem with workers because of reason A, B, and C. If the companies understand what's going to happen and what is the impact and what can we do together, and we involve the global companies on that journey, or no global companies, whatever client you may have, you involve them in that journey, I think that's really valuable. I think for me, that's really valuable because then we together make something for better. You know,
Yeah.
we just not waiting for everybody, for the suppliers to do everything like a checkpoint, and we just stay here sitting waiting for the solution. No, I think you understanding their business, what the value could be, the risks, and also sharing that with us and bringing that to us, and trying to that we both can do something together, because we see that in 3 years or in 2 years something will happen, in 5 years something will happen. I think that's a lot already, for we together do something for the sustainability in our region, in our industry, in whatever environmental part we are. I think in general terms, that's something we can say. And of course, you need to have the quality minimum requirements for that. But if I have to give you these two things, 2 cents of information, I think I would say that.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very clear but also inspiring message. So know your added value. Here I will take the chance to refer to our first masterclass where we talked about value proposition. If you did not attend and haven't watched it, please go back and do so. And then of course the quality, but the extra mile I think was really inspiring also, and to hear from you that there is this possibility to cooperate and the partnerships. Of course the suppliers are out there knowing what's really going on. But the open dialogue is also welcome, which I think is a very strong message here. So thank you, Danica, for your words. Maria Camila, do you have any tips to perhaps fellow suppliers in different fields who are looking to enter international value chains?
Yes, for me, the key is to understand the expectation of the buyer and to understand the clients and to communicate the value proposition that you have, the efforts that the company is doing in order to fulfill those gaps and to get to different clients and markets and restaurant and value chain. So as a company, we have to communicate to effort day by day and to improving all our process, to be willing to get involved in the sustainability process, and to be able also to have impact and connections, not only with farmers, but also with buyers, and to connect those two words, and to add value in the whole process and mitigate the impact that sometimes in the process you make. So be able to plant trees and to have no deforestation at all, to have regenerative agriculture, and to generate farmer dignity as well.
Yeah. So also hear from you, I really hear that reaching out, connection, impact, that's how we have impact, and to go out there and yeah, be present and willing to adapt, really. Isn't that also the case? Staying on top of the game perhaps also means having the flexibility to adjust where you see something happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, both of you, very much. And just to our participants, if you do have questions, please share them in the chat. Maria Camila and Danica will stay on for a few minutes still, of course, but let me just quickly share my screen again to tie this into what we are talking about also in this program. So basically what we talk about today in this panel discussion has been how meeting requirements is part of your job as a supplier. We also heard certification is quite likely to be part of it, but then we also heard there's so much more. Go out there, have the partnerships, connect, have impact through working together, be flexible, innovate, go that extra mile, as I will copy Danica's word here also when we share this. Now, how does this tie in with the whole program that the Connect Americas Academy offers? I hope most of you have already signed up. This content that we dealt with here today was based on module 2, where you will also see that lessons 7 and 8 pretty much cover the topics that we wanted to highlight in this masterclass. One way of, if you like, being on top of things, as I put it, is really to go about it in a structured way. And this is also the reasoning behind the e-learning modules. So they deal with different topics, just like we've done today. And in addition, you will receive downloadable templates for you to do your work with, to get started again in a structured way. So that's really our message. Our structured approach will allow you to take charge of requirements you must meet. Now, that said, if you haven't done so yet, do register on the Connect Americas Academy. Do the e-learning courses that I just pointed out to you. This was module 2. In less than a month, we will have the next session, a Masterclass 3, dealing with module 3. You will hear more about that later on. But now I would like to hear from you if there are any questions that you have to our panelists. So actually, I will stop sharing and I hand over to Daniela if you've had an eye on the questions.
Well, yeah, well, so far we don't have any questions from the audience, but since this is an event powered by Connect Americas for Women, and we're always discussing what is the role and what are the challenges or barriers that women face in their leadership positions, I would like to ask you both if you have had any particular challenges in your roles for being women, or any experiences or advice that you want to share with this community of female entrepreneurs. You can go, Danita, and then Maria Camila.
I think we are very curious about everything we are doing. And I believe that I think how can we really leverage our leadership? I think what we are doing is being just curious about our businesses. We are already doing it. I think you are, all the audience. And I think what I really value from women leadership, it's like we always go beyond. We take our curiosity to take us to every single corner from our businesses and to take the best out of that. So if you ask me what is that function of, I would say that the curiosity that we are doing it, and we should just keep doing it. I don't think women will have a less role in the leadership in general in our jobs. We shouldn't have that. I think we all have the same equal. We are equal. The same as the other of the men. So I am very equal gender. So I really don't think, I think actually we have a lot more advantages because as we are really curious and passionate about things, and that's something that we should keep pursuing. I see that in a women leadership. The curiosity is something that we all women have, and that's exactly what innovations and new businesses are up to that.
Thank you, Maria Camila.
In my case, well, almost all our team is composed by women, so 80% of our team are women.
That's great, Maria Camila. Congratulations.
Thank you. We have some guys in the team, but they're not that much. But we are. Why we choose women in our team is because we are detail focused, and we want that. We want to have more, to be more centered, and to be focusing our clients in their in what the requirements of our clients are. Maybe some of the challenge that we have here in Colombia are in the rural areas of the country because of the culture. So sometimes when we go to rural areas to talk to the farmers, most of them are men and group of people, farmers that are led by men. So when, as a woman, try to explain different kind of aspects of quality, it's tougher than to be in the office and to speak to a client, but it's nothing impossible that women can do.
Oh, you people are so inspiring. I'm really happy that you joined in this session today and that you were our panel today. So before I hand over again to Daniela to wrap up this session, just a big thank you from me, because I think you're role models in yourselves, the way you are. And I love how you say women have no weaknesses or whatever. In fact, we are stronger and we need to get the work done. And that's why we choose women. So thank you very much for sharing this inspiration here on this Tuesday with all of us today.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining today, this session. Remember, you will receive the recording of this event via email, and also you can find it at connectamericas.com and at our YouTube channel. Thank you very much to our guest speakers. Thank you, Tove. We will continue having masterclasses session. As Tove mentioned, it will be mid-January that we will have the third one. And remember to complete the information that you received today with our supplier development program. That is a requirement to apply for the technical assistance. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. Have a good afternoon or evening, wherever you are.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.